said, empty your mind.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's lesson. Today I'm going to be going over a question that was asked about yesterday's video, and also one of the online viewers, who I will just say is a student now because I am helping him get through some of his forms, sent me a video of him doing the Sil Lum Tao Form and the first set of the Chum Kue form. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a little corrections, as I feel like that might help a lot of people working on the form themselves. I find many students tend to have the same problems along the way, so I figured I would go ahead and share his corrections with everybody. But the question was asked on yesterday's video about the consound. Once again, before I get started, do me a favor. If you can, hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, 1-inch punch that bell notification and make sure all notifications are on so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you can, give this video a thumbs up, that would be greatly appreciated. So his question was consound. Yesterday I showed consound, essentially demonstrated how to do consound, how to practice consound, but I didn't talk about consound in application. Now I will be showing this later on with some partners. I'll dig through some of my old lessons to find that footage, but I just thought I'd briefly explain. Once again, don't limit the use of consound to just these examples, but consound could be used for numerous reasons. And once again, consound is footsound or tonsal, or footsound and poxound. These are consound, either tonsal or poxound, with your footsound is consound. Now consound could be used for a high hook punch towards your head, and I step off and I consound, and as it passes, I let it go and bill sow. Or same thing, I'm standing here and somebody throws a high round kick towards my head. I could step off the line of force and implement consound. Now what I find is whenever I'm sparring somebody that is a kickboxer, taekwondo, Muay Thai, somebody who does throw high round kicks, this works really well. And what you do is you wind up going footsound, coming up under the leg, and then the nature of footsound is to rise, so you just bring that up and it winds up dumping them straight to the ground. So for a high hook punch or high round kick, consound works wonderfully. You also see consound being used on the wooden dummy a lot, and way back when, and I brought this one up last, but way back then when this was used also classically for, a double palm strike, you could deflect that palm strike using consound. Clearly a double palm strike is not something we're encountering in this day and age, but I just thought I'd bring that up. Classically, consound could be used for a double palm strike, and you do see it a lot on the wooden dummy, and I'm pointing right here because I keep meaning to mount my dummy. It's in the garage. I have two of them. I want to bring one and mount it right here on this wall so I can shoot future videos here and show everybody dummy and dummy applications. Now, my daughter's going to come out just real quick. Come on out for a second if you could. Now, so if she's here, and just stand right here for me. So let's just say here's the hook punch, make a fist. So the hook punch comes around, I could be stepping into the inside consound. Now the energy is coming towards me, so I can let that lift off here and then hit. Now, since she's I'm just gonna come down here. So if you just do a round kick towards my head, great. So I just did a bill sow for that one. So I'm just coming down here so she can easily reach my head. There would be footwork involved here. You have to understand that. Come a little bit closer. Let's make sure we're in the frame. So if you round kick towards my head, the consound's coming up here. See, I'm connecting, and then she's flexible. Normally you just dump them right down to the ground. If they're not real flexible, they go down easy. Even if they're real flexible, throw that kick. I'm going here, and then you step in, and it's just gonna take them right down to the ground. So thank you so much, I appreciate that, thank you. So that is just a perfect example of consound being used in application. Once again, I wish I had, thank you so much, some bigger guys here to kick me in the head to show you, so I could show you with the footwork, but I think that gives you a good visual, and I wanted to do the best we can. We're all on this lockdown and quarantine, and I'm starting to get her training as well, so I thought it'd be fun to bring her in the mix. Now, the student sent me the video with his Sil Lum Tao, okay? So Sil Lum Tao corrections. when we come back here, I'm just gonna come closer. Once again, everybody knows you're in a good front stance. So my feet are probably gonna be cut off here, but my hands won't be. So here I'm in this good front stance here. My hands are straight back. So when we start off the form, we're here, drop. You're getting in your good front stance, knees in, back straight, and arms here. So the first correction was, once again, I notice arms like this, resting a little bit, and notice how my elbow's out. I'm kind of there's a big exaggeration, but it was more like this. Once again, distance right here and bring this straight back. So make your fist here and pull it straight back. That's the distance you want there. So you define your center line and come straight back. So it's important right from the beginning when you start off, drop your knees, make sure your feet are on that good straight line, arms straight back. We define our center line, straight back. Everything was really good all the way up into the last few sets. And for those that don't know the whole Sil Lum Tao yet, I have this whole form broken down up, and we practice it numerous times in these lockdown lessons. So it was the last few sets, so I'm gonna show what was going on here. One, the low bong sao was cruising in here. This looked great into tan sao, and then you sweep out into foot sao. Notice how my wrist, picture that I have a splint here, and my wrist is staying flat, right? So this is splinted flat, it's not gonna bend. And what I noticed was a little bit of tan sao, and then when you came down, it was almost curving like this, and I was seeing a little bit of that action as it was coming out. So you wanna think about this coming here, tan sao, sweeps out to foot sao, comes back out, and that wrist is staying perfectly flat as it's coming through. So it gets, you kind of like get in the habit of like curling that in. Think about just letting it sweep out. It's in this tan sao, it stays in that perfect movement to foot sao. So very simple correction, and all the way up to here looked great. Everything was looking good, except I did notice throughout the form this, arms in, and they should have been pulled straight back. So low bong sao, foot sao, hien sao, strike, hien sao. Now next on the bong sao set, open your hand up, wrist comes straight to the center. This needs to be perfectly level, like my palms just flat out, right? Give me a high five, perfectly level, wrist in the center, elbow flips up. This is in my center line, drops back down, strike, hien sao. And I think you were kind of coming up a little bit here and then going up. It needs to come straight out, let this flip straight up, let your elbow drop down, strike, raise your hand up, hien sao. I'm gonna do that again. Now notice even though I'm going here, conscious thought in this hand, it's not lazy resting up against my body, it's still here relaxed. Drop, strike, up, pull back into good position here. This hand opens up, flips up, strike, back. Perfect. So that is the bong sao set. Lastly, when you bring this to the center and the tut sao at the end, my wrist is in the center, my fist is in the center. I connect, that exchange takes place in the center. And once again, some of this is when I'm watching on video. As you're watching, we might see things a little bit off that might be correct. It could be camera angles. I'm just bringing this up just in case. So wrist in the center, fist. This exchange, never let it, and I'm exaggerating, open up. It should say very tight. And you can just practice this over and over in the center of your body, right? So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then when I punch, 1, 2, 3, keeping that very tight as well. So you don't want to go 1, 2, 3, and then punch 1, 2, 3, leaving your center open. And you weren't that wide. I'm over exaggerating just to make a point. Right here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and just at the end it has to come there next to the fist. But up until then, it was very coming one over, just like the chain punching. So those are the Sil Lum Tao Form corrections I saw that you should work on. 1, don't let this be what I call lazy hands resting, elbows out. This should be here, straight back. With the low bong sao, tan sao, sweeping out the foot sao, just keep your wrist straight. At the bong sao, make sure this is nice and flat as your elbow comes up. And then the tut sao, let everything come right out the center line of your body as everything moves from the center of our body in the Sil Lum Tao Form. So those are just some tips on the Sil Lum Tao Form. Excellent work. Just keep up the great work. You really were polishing this form up perfectly. So keep up the good work with these corrections. Your form should be really tight. Now you also sent in the Chum Kue first set. I'd rather you polish up the Sil Lum Tao Form, but I do want to bring up something with the Chum Kue because I know you're practicing that. We call it a swimming bong sao. So you started off here. Now same thing, bong sao, when I step, it's out and up. I drop this here and I step, it's still coming out and up. But sometimes it kind of looks like it's going, when you're swimming, the hands are coming this way. So sometimes it can look like it's swimming in the swimming motion, right? And you want to eliminate that. And remember, it's just like we practice bong sao here, except your footwork out and up. When I drop here, it's going out and up. And it appears, when you're watching it on video, probably almost like I'm swimming, but I'm not. I'm lifting my bongs out and I'm stepping. And also, I'm just gonna notice my angle here. When I'm here, this is right here. You don't want this here where your elbow's in your center, or you could be pushed back this way. You're keeping this more in this position. And I'll get into more detail as that in the future, but we're not gonna come here and swim with this. We're raising this up. Now on the second part of the first set of the Chum Kue, where we're doing the elbow back, remember this is straight back. So let me step back, make sure I'm in frame. Straight back here and here. So when I'm dropping here, same thing, I don't want to swim and then back and then swim and then back. I want to come here, out and up, and then drop my elbow. And this is straight back, like I'm hitting the wall right back there. So this was very good, just a little common correction with that bong sao movement, making sure the bong sao comes out and up here. So just a little correction with your bong sao and a little correction here. And for those that are just watching and a little bit confused, I filmed in one of these lessons just a few weeks, maybe a week ago, a few days ago, the first set of the Chum Kue form. So once again, a student had sent in him doing the first set, and I was just giving him some pointers and corrections. Now, one last question that was asked on the Facebook page: why did Ip Man say you cannot, and he didn't word this correctly, I believe, but I believe he meant, why did Ip Man say you can't use tan sao in a fight? I don't know where you got that from. I don't know where you heard that. But any hand position can be used in a fight. You're just not going here and waiting, okay, I gotta use my tan sao, I gotta use my tan sao. Hey, I don't want any trouble, something comes, I might pak, I might cap, I might tan, I might bong. You're using these hand positions as needed, right? When the window of opportunity arises, you're gonna fill space with the proper hand position, and that's only gonna happen through proper training, and training often, and getting into flow drills so you understand what works how, and what works where, and what works for you, and you get in this groove. But you're never trying to say, I'm using Tansao for everything, or so Tansao can't be used in a fight. A punch comes in, I can deflect that punch with Tansao. I can then strike, I could do arm break, I could do numerous follow-ups, but I'm not trying to force the use of a hand position for a particular application. We don't work that way. Remember in Wing Chun, we utilize these 6 gates, upper, middle, lower, left, and right side, and we're simply filling space. If an attack enters this gate, or this gate, or this gate, or this gate, if it's lower gate, I use my legs, and we fill that space. That way I don't have to memorize 1,000 defenses for 1,000 attacks. It comes in this gate, I fill space. It comes in this gate, I fill space. And it makes it real easy and makes it real simple and very effective. So thank you. Please keep the questions coming. Please, everybody, practice your forms. And once again, I'll throw this out there. If anybody's interested, if you're learning these forms online right now and you want to do a Zoom session, let's do a Zoom session where we'll meet. I'll watch your form and we'll record everything. I'll give you a lesson right there. And I think it'd be fun for everybody to see how this works. It's amazing how well you can pick up the forms online. Back in 2013, when I filmed the entire program, everybody gave me such a hard time. You can't learn Wing Chun online. You can't learn this online. Nobody can learn stuff online. And now I think everybody realizes you can learn a ton of things online. If the quality of instruction is detailed enough, showing you the proper angles from proper directions, giving you good views, good explanations, and you have a good partner to work with, you can learn a lot of this stuff online, a lot of these things online. Nothing beats hand-on instruction, but what I do with a lot of students is if they're not around, they don't have Wing Chun, they want to learn Wing Chun, they do the online program, they train, and then we can always meet. I have a student that's coming up from Texas to train for a Sifu level, and I've worked with him before in person, and he is doing phenomenal, really owns the entire system, has it down, works with students, just a great guy, and was able to pick it up. And I do this with numerous students. So it's, well, lately, clearly in lockdown, quarantine, virus, global pandemic, this isn't happening, but in the future, this can certainly happen for those that are interested. So, you know, if there's anything you want to learn online, don't let people tell you you can't. When somebody says something, this is something my Sifu actually just mentioned recently, and something he has always shared with us. You know, when people say, oh, I could have done that, you know, I could have learned Kung Fu, I could have done that, but you didn't, because it didn't mean enough to you. So if it means enough to you, you go out and you do these things, and you don't let people stop you, don't let things put you down, don't let limitations stop you, like not having Wing Chun in your area. You want to learn Wing Chun? I'll show you Wing Chun online, there's no problem. You want to learn how to play guitar? You don't have access to a teacher? There's plenty of guitar instruction online. You can learn what you want to learn. You just have to want to do it, have the desire to do it, and get out there and do it. And don't let people hold you back, right? So thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you guys soon in future lessons. I do want to bring up, I might post a video tomorrow, a little bit different. It's going to be on fasting. And I actually am going into a 72-hour fast myself. And I might make this a fast where I'm taking a break from the computer as well. And just taking a break from media and news and computer and social media and all that stuff and food and everything, and just taking a real mental break and de-stressing. So I really want to keep these lessons going, so maybe I can pull out some old lessons and get those up. But if you don't see or hear from me for a few days, everything's good. I will be back in action. There's plenty of content for everybody to consume, practice, go over, and I hope to see everybody soon. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next lesson.